Hey everybody, my name is Danny, and for people that are new here, um, I publish all types of YouTube videos, video blogs, video logs, also called vlogs, vlogs, whatever. I do videos about sports, video games, politics, law, everything, right? So today I am going to do something a little different where, let me see here. So the story behind this is that a few years ago, I wanted to take a course, and this course was actually a biology lab, biology lab. And so I was looking for the course, and I went online and I found this school in Australia. And so I decided to take it, this biology lab from Australia. Actually, um, I'm here in Newfoundland, Canada, which is the east coast of Canada. So it was definitely a correspondence course. And so they mailed me the course, and um, they mailed me requirement for the biology lab. And this, here, I'll try to see if I can show it to you here. If I can show it to you here. Yeah. So this is a soil pH test kit, right? And so I basically know nothing about gardening at all. So this is very new to me. And actually what happened was I got busy with my life, and so I was not able to finish the course. And I never did this course, this test. What happened was I was doing some cleaning in my home, and I found this old soil test, and I decided, oh well, like I'm not gonna throw this out in the garbage. I'd rather at least just try it at least once, just to say that I tried it once and didn't completely waste my money. So here it is. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting because here it says, if you do any gardening, you'll know that a soil test is kind of like a primary basic thing to know about gardening, right? And, I've taken a lot of science courses, and even done like pH tests in chemistry and so forth. And it's a very straight kind of test. And so, kind of like here it says soil pH test kit. For the best growth of plants in your garden, it is essential that the pH of your potting mix and soil is suitable for the plants that you want to grow. With the kit, you can rapidly find the pH of the soils of your garden and the potting mix in your pots. So it's kind of like interesting because it's a biology lab, and here in Canada, you would never do anything regarding a soil test for a biology lab, but it's just kind of saying that in Australia, the agriculture is such a huge part of their of their culture that they incorporate these types of tests even in basic biology labs, right? So that's just something to learn about. And actually, um, here it says that um, um, this this test is based on research by Cicero. I don't know how to pronounce that. Cicero Soil Scientist, as published in the Journal of the Australian Institute of Agricultural Science, 1959. Manufactured in Australia by Manutech Pty Limited, 4 Jean Street, Beverly, South Australia, right? And so it's a very like well-known company, right? This testing company. It's here again. It says this test is based on research by Cicero, right? Yeah. So, and I wanted to timestamp this. So, let me see here. So today is Thursday, July 11th, 2019, and it's 2:33 p.m. here. Okay. So I'm actually going to do this soil test here, and when I was thinking about how to do it, I thought it might be a good idea to, even though I've done no gardening ever and I know nothing about it, maybe to plant something like that I can harvest or I can kind of eat, right? So I went to the local store, and so this is all new here, right? So the soil test, basically, the soil test part of it is basically, well, I'll just go through it as I do it. But at the store, I bought, here they call it, here in Canada, they call it potting soil. And here's my pot and some other things, right? So here I even have my own thermometer, and it looks like it's about 16 degrees Celsius. So in Fahrenheit, it says it's about, maybe about 62 Fahrenheit, something like that. Okay, so if I read the instructions here, so let's go through this. If I read the instructions here, it says, the first thing on the instructions, it says, measuring pH. Number 1, place a level teaspoon of mixed soil or potting mix on the test plate. Okay, so the first thing for me to do is get out the soil. Let's see here. This is not particularly handling the way I wanted it to. Let me see here if this other stand that I have will be any better. actually pick for the seeds at the store. They're called here garden beans, garden beans, golden wax bush. Right? So these obviously grow on top of the soil. So I'm not going to need that much soil. Should I put all of it in? Why not? I'm just going to put it all in. Okay. So the next thing to do here says, oh yeah, measuring pH. Number 1. Place a level teaspoon of mixed soil or potting mix on the test plate. So here is a test plate. Here is 1 tablespoon. This is my own fancy spoon. So 1 tablespoon, it's 1 teaspoon. The correct one is 1 teaspoon, and that's equivalent to 5 milliliters. 5 milliliters. And it says level, I believe. Place a level teaspoon. Okay. So here. Okay. Hope you guys can see this. It says here, yeah, I hope that you guys can see that. So there's the level. Just want to make sure you guys can see that. That's a level teaspoon on the plate. And number 2 says add 3 to 5 drops of indicator liquid and stir with the rod provided. So this is the indicator liquid, and the label says Manutech Soil pH Test Kit, pH dye indicator, for use as instructed. Manutech Pty Limited, 4 Jean Street, Beverly, South Australia. So add 3 to 5 drops. See if show you guys what I'm doing here. So 3 to 5 drops. You guys can see that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 35 drops, and then it says number 3. That's the paste with the white powder provided.
this is the white powder, and the label says Manutech Soil pH Test Kit, barium sulfate. So barium sulfate for use as instructed, South Australia. So it says dust. I'm assuming that just means just a little bit. So let's see here. And then it says wait approximately 1 minute. So I'm gonna time that. So just waiting for a minute. Yeah. So here is what they call here is this is called the color chart for soil pH. Color chart for soil pH. So this is the color chart. And so what we do after a minute, you just look at the color of the soils that I just treated, and then you match it to the closest color, and then you read the number, and then that's the pH. So if I'm looking at it now, it's about a minute. So you can look at it now and see. So you guys can see that. You guys can see that. And let me look at the color chart and see what it's closest to. I would say, let me see here. Let's see how good my assessment skills are. I would say that color is closest to what? Let me look here. I am going to say that is closest to 6. So yeah, I'm going to say that color is closest to 6, and according to the chart, 6 means that is an acid, right? It's an acid, but 6 is on the lower level of acidity. So it says here it's an acid, but it's on the low level of being an acid, the low level of acidity, right? So if we look at the other information provided, okay, where we see here that okay, because I'm going to be growing a vegetable, like I said, I'm going to be growing beans. I look at this category, and for vegetables, so this category includes most vegetables, bedding plants, commonly grown shrubs and trees. That would be soils of pH 5.8, soils of pH 5.8 to 7.5, potting mixes of pH 5.3 to 6.5. So I'm okay. So my pH of 6 fits into that category, so I'm good. And just for educational purposes, the thing is that when I read this the other day, there's a lot of different categories, right? So this is Australian, so the terminology might be different, but they'd like to, seems like, categorize soil into two main categories. So one of them would be like the soil that you put in pots, so more like indoor or on your patio, something like that. And then the other category would be more the soil that's in a garden, like outside, right? Like more natural, organic stuff that's just you don't really do anything with, right? And so if your pH isn't right based on what you want to do with it, and you can change as even just as the person doing this, you can change your soil pH, right? So here it says, because like due to what you want it for, the pH of the soil should be of a certain pH. And so you can change your soil pH. It says here to raise the soil pH, like there's different things that you can do, right? It says you can raise your soil pH by adding agricultural lime or dolomite. A 1-to-1 mixture of the two often gives best results. So if you're going to use lime or dolomite, for sands, it's 100 grams per square meter. For loams, 200 grams per square meter. For clay soils, 300 to 400 grams per square meter. For organic soils, 600 grams per square meter. These amounts will raise the pH of the top 10 centimeters by about 1 pH unit. And to lower the pH of slightly alkaline soils, pH below 7.5, with agricultural sulfur. So they call it they use the word alkaline. In the schools around where I am in Canada, we use the word base or basic, right? So if you're going to lower the pH, you add sulfur, right? You add sulfur. And so for sands, they recommend 25 grams per square meter. For loams, 50 to 70 grams per square meter. For clays, 100 grams per square meter. These amounts will lower the pH of the top 10 centimeters by about 1 pH unit. Then it says the large amounts of solid lime often present in alkaline soils with pH values higher than about 7.5, make it almost impossible to make these soils acid. Yeah, so there's a lot of information here, right? And basically, so I'm now going to plant these beans in here. So what I want to do here is maybe just level this out a little bit. Get nice and level. Nice and level. Right. Get nice and level. And it also says when you're doing that soil, when you're doing that soil test, you want to, the lighting should be natural light, which means sunlight. And they say don't use fluorescent light. So we're here outside, it's natural light. So I'm good there. Just another thing. So here the seeds. I've never done this before, but let's see here. So this is interesting, right? Yeah. We never think of these things, but when they mean being, they mean being, right? So here is a seed. Here is a seed. Just making sure you guys can see this. This is the seed, but the seed is a being. Get it? Okay. So here I'm gonna put oh, okay. And the instructions here say that the instructions say that the seed depth should be 1 inches, which is the same as 2.5 centimeters. 1 inches or 2.5 centimeters. Now I think that's important, and so I'm gonna go and get my ruler just to make sure, and I'll be right back. So I found my ruler. I think it's important to be accurate and precise with these measurements. So I found my ruler. And like I said, it should be the seed depth should be 1 inches or 2.5 centimeters. So centimeters is about
I put one in, 2.5 centimeters. Just get up here, put a few more here. I watched on the TV that it's important that you don't plant too many seeds, right? People often do that, and that's not a good thing. I heard that on TV. So here, just remind myself, it says 2.5 centimeters. Almost done. Okay. So I put about maybe 9. I put about 9 bean seeds in there. And I'm going to water it a little bit right now. Try to put a reasonable amount. See, you guys can see my watering. Just have to be careful here. I don't want to put too much. That's enough. Okay. So this pretty much takes care of this video, and I think actually that I think and I probably will do another follow-up video to this, and the follow-up video will be showing you hopefully these beans and if they were able to grow and grow out properly. So on the instructions here it says days to maturity is 50 to 65 days. So I had to look that up, and days to maturity means the amount of days that it takes. So for example, if you're planting vegetables like I am, that's when it's that many days when you can actually like take vegetable out of the soil and eat them basically, right? So if it's 50 to 65 days, that means I think they want me to wait 50 to 65 days until I can take those beans out and eat them. So 50 to 65 is kind of long, but like I said, I think, and I probably will do another follow-up video in another like 50 days, and hopefully I'll be able to show you if these beans actually grew and how they look or how they taste or whatever. And either I'll just put the video in 50 that I'll do in 50 days. I'll just embed it onto this video, so you'll see it right after this, or maybe I'll end up making a separate video, and I'll call this part 1 and I'll call the other one part 2, so you can look out for that. Yeah, so I think that's basically all. I kind of think that that's all I really wanted to do today. I can't think of anything else. So thanks a lot for watching this video. Appreciate it. Make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. So hit that subscribe button and click on notifications so you'll know when I post a new video, so it doesn't get so when you watch it, it's not outdated or whatever. So that's basically it. Peace out. Hi everybody. Just to remind all of you, my name is Danny, and I usually do all types of YouTube videos, and I tried to do something a little different, and so if you all remember, I did the first part of this. On the date was, I wrote this down, July 11, 2019, July 11, 2019, and that was the first of 2 parts, because this part will be the second and final part. So on the back on July 11, 2019, I just, if I remember everything right, we did the soil test, the pH test, and I also planted a few bean seeds in the soil, and so this will just be a this will just be a follow-up to that, and so yeah, after all of that time, we're just gonna take a look at my beans and basically see what happened. Okay. So, as you can see, so these are my beans. So, these were obviously yellow beans, and I felt that what happened was, actually, I'll be honest, and I've never planted anything. I've never planted anything at all in my life. So this was my first time of planting anything ever, right? I was completely new to this. And so I found it interesting because what happened was, back in July, I planted them, and then I was busy that summer, so I sort of just got into other things. And then about a week later, I went back to check on them, and it went from nothing to like almost like the length of stems that they are now, which was kind of crazy, right? And from then I felt it was kind of like a slow process where there was like eventually the formation of kind of like the small, I don't know what you call it, buds sort of, and then
and then it flowered, and then pretty much as soon as it flowered, you could see the formation of the small beans. Now, um, a lot of those smaller beans came to what they are now, and a lot of the um, other small beans basically stopped growing when they were very small and just died, right? And the beans, these beans here, um, these beans here, although they look pretty big, when I go to the supermarket and I see these same green beans, they're quite a bit bigger. So basically, at some point, um, like I said, either the small beans died and these stopped growing altogether. And so, after doing some research and talking to some people, I was told that um, um, the temperature is very important because I basically kept these outside the whole time, 100% of the time. 100% of the time, I kept these. 100% of the time, I kept these outdoors. And um, although we had a nice summer, coming around like um, even as early, I found um, maybe around September, it started to get cold, and definitely October, November. And so I was told that the coldness of the temperature can basically kill a plant altogether, whether it's a bean plant or any type of plant. It just kills the plant altogether. And once the plant dies because of the high temperature, that's it, right? But I didn't know all of this until just a few days ago. So my thought was, I could tell that those other beans died, small beans died, and these weren't growing anymore. But I kind of thought that if I that if I kept watering them regularly, and also to um, in this part of the world, we've had some good days, like a lot of sunny days, um, especially for November, right? And the temperature has been pretty high for November, along with, like I said, a lot of the sun and stuff. So I was kind of like hoping that these remaining beans would have grown a little more, but um, I've been told that they won't. And I was also told by someone that I could possibly bring them in now and they could possibly grow just a little more, but I don't think I'm going to bother do that. I think that after today, I'm just going to sort of just end this plant altogether. I was also told that there's two categories of plants where um, either they're let me see here. The two categories are either, I have this written down here. Yeah, there's kind of two types of plants where one type is you have to reseed them like every season, and then the other ones they'll just automatically grow back. Looking at these, I think that now that they're dead, these probably won't regrow again. That's my guess. I probably have to just reseed all of it, and yeah, because taking a closer look at this, yeah, we can really see that those beans look pretty good. The bigger beans look pretty good. pretty good. See that small stem? That never ever grew any more than it did. It leaved out a little bit with nice green leaves, but it never really, I think it actually flowered, but there were never any beans of that small one, that small stem. And then here we can see let's see, here we can see, for example, so that's that's a bean that was small and died right there. There's another one, a small one that died. And a lot of them, after they died, they just completely fell off. And there's another one that died, small one that died. So, yeah. And some of them are just dead and are not going to grow anymore, right? Like this one, that didn't grow anymore, and that didn't grow anymore either. Because once the cold temperatures hit here, it really just basically stopped all of their growth, right? Completely, really. Like here, we have like two smaller ones. Yes, like I said, small, dead, a little bigger. That small one right there. Stop growing. Go over these, review them a little bit. Then just pick something up for a second. And then where was I? Just to review what we have here. I said big, dead, bigger, small, bigger, small, bigger, small, dead, a little bigger. And that one, like I said, never got any bigger. And we see my thermometer here says that here in Canada we use the Celsius. We use Celsius, so it's right now it is, that would be about 9 degrees Celsius, and in Fahrenheit that would be about, in Fahrenheit that would be in Fahrenheit that would be 39 degrees Fahrenheit or 40 Fahrenheit, around there, right? Yeah. And today's date, just let me look this. Today is November 9, 2019, right? Like I said, today is November 9, 2019. I just want to make sure everyone hears this. Today is November 9, 2019. And even here, I still have the seed pack, right? So this says here, these are garden beans, golden wax bush, mild, delicate flavor. However, I don't think that I'm going to bother to eat any of these, actually. someone told me to that if they freeze, then it sort of kills the taste of it, right? See, if we look here at the back of the packet, it says, one of the things that it says is the days to maturity. So days to maturity, 50 to 65. So today, obviously, I'm much way past that. One of the flags of one thing that flagged me was I kept an eye on that 50 to 65 days to maturity. That's usually basically pretty accurate, and even at around the 65 day mark, I could tell that they weren't even close to being full grown, right? A lot of them were still small, or kind of almost the size they are now, which was not grown, right? So I'm quite sure that like 50 days should be okay, but once it hits around the 65 day mark, it's pretty much done by then, right? Because that's the outer boundary, right? So really, if you're looking at your plant and it's gone above even 1 day past the 65 days, there's something wrong. And in my case, it was really the high temperature, or sorry, the low temperature, the coldness, right? Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up now. I don't want to keep this too long. So yeah, so this was the second of two parts, the final part, and I'm going to basically put everything into one video just to make it easier. Put everything into one video to make it easier. So I'd like to thank all of you for watching me and spending time with me over the summer, if you will. And it would be nice if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, or get your friends and family to also subscribe to my YouTube channel, because if I see that subscription count go up, I'll make more, right? So like I said, I make all types of YouTube videos. This is just something different that I wanted to try, right? But anyways, all right, that's it. Thanks a lot. Peace out.